Hello, everyone.
And welcome to our show.
And, we've got Lele here.
And Mikey.
Yep. And sorry we've been, not putting out as much. We've had a lot going on.
It's okay. We don't have to apologize to them every single time we do a new episode.
No, I guess you're right. But
they come when they come, folks, but we're going to try and do better at getting them out more frequently.
Yeah, we're going to try to start getting them out once a week. I went to Jamaica and just stuff.
And
so
I didn't.
Here we are. Michael didn't go.
I was left home.
He did the Disneyland, though.
That's true. I did the Disneyland. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, so today, you want to know what we're going to talk about?
Of course.
So, Shark Week happened to happen.
By the way, they can't see you, but you look beautiful, sis.
Oh, thank you.
She's got her hair all done up nice and her makeup, and she's beautiful.
Thank you. Anyway, so, we have Shark Week. Shark Week happened July 25th, for a week. And I was gone during part of it.
Oh, is that like Discovery Channel, or what do they do Shark Week on?
Yeah, they do it on Discovery. But anyway, I think they have a TV channel they do it on too. But how many people actually have TV nowadays? I don't know. Like regular TV. Probably not very many.
My mom does. She's like, I gotta watch my show. I don't want to miss my show. It's like, Mom, you can stream it on demand anytime you want.
I know. She likes to get on there and watch her Jeopardy and stuff with commercials. I don't get it. But anyway, so we're going to talk about sharks today. And as you know, they are my favorite animal, and I've studied them my whole life.
Yes, quite mysterious, feared, and often misunderstood.
True. Mm-hmm. But also deadly.
Very deadly.
So I think it's crazy how stuff that they were saying were like facts about sharks back when I was a kid were disproven. Like so many things have changed. And
oh, really? So research and information on sharks in general has accelerated quite a bit even in the last 20 years?
Yeah. Like for example, they thought that sharks couldn't sit still or they would suffocate. And then
That's
later...
me.
Yeah, you're right.
I've got ADHD. I would suffocate if I had to sit still.
So
squirrel.
So basically, the problem. So then they found a cave with sleeping sharks just laying on the bottom, like resting.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to take a nap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What better than a dark cavern?
Exactly. Well, and you get in there with all your buddies. It's like a slumber party.
Ooh.
Slumber party.
A shark slumber party.
Yeah. And like people have gone in there and they literally will just lay there. They won't even react. They're resting. Yeah.
And is this just a certain breed of shark or lots of different types of sharks?
They've found they've never seen like great whites do it or it's more like reef sharks and stuff they find doing that. But regardless, like it,
maybe the more ferocious sharks are more ADHD. They can't just lay down.
Maybe they're so big they will suffocate. I don't know. No, but they found some good sized sharks doing it. But I mean, I don't know. It just goes to show you learn new things all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Anyways, they've been encouraging this whole sharks are misunderstood thing for a long time, trying to get people to like love on them because, we've done a lot of exterminating. Yeah. And there's over 100 million sharks killed every year.
Woo!
That's a lot.
That is a lot of sharks.
Yeah. So if we keep that up, then we're going to have serious problems because if you take predators away, you get the sick fish and all the other things that aren't getting cleaned out. So, that's a problem. And they want people to warm up to sharks because they
play a very critical role in an ecosystem in the ocean.
Yeah. And I mean, they're also really cool and fascinating. And I'm sorry, but I think the most graceful thing you can see is a shark just like slow swimming.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a mermaid.
Do you know this?
I actually saw a TikTok on Facebook today. and it was like in some tropical place where the water was pristine and pretty. And these 3 gals had on these really like
fancy
extravagant tails. And it shows them like swimming in the water in unison, like going up. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And they're all like pretty girls. Yeah.
No, it was from behind. I mean, but they had really pretty flowing hair in the water.
There we go. So they actually, this time on Shark Week, they had a girl who dresses like a mermaid and swims with sea animals out in the ocean. And she swam with great white sharks out of a cage.
Wow. Well, if you got fins, I mean...
Well, isn't that more scary in a way?
I'm going to look more like a fish and more like something that you could eat.
Exactly. So around like the Galapagos Islands, they took out a team. They had guys that could go down. You know how some people can like hold their breath for like a gajillion minutes? They're like down there for like, what, like 20 minutes or something?
A gajillion minutes.
Like,
that's...
Because it's not a...
I think only fish can do that.
No, there's the deep Hey.
Yes, those people that are really good at holding their breath for quite a while.
You're right. It's probably not a gajillion.
I don't think that's a real word, a real number.
I know. It just means a lot in my mind. It's a word I made up. So anyway, they found guys like that because they, have figured out that metal and its reaction to water, the little gel sensors in a shark's nose, it actually does like a overflow flare response. And that's why a lot of times when they attack people, you see them attack their tanks on the back because they're also metal and they also do that. So like in the cages, when they had steel cages, they were getting attacked all the time. So they started changing them to different things because it actually like it's overstimulating. And
is it because it's really shiny or what?
Well, it sets off that sensor in their nose.
Okay.
Because they see things, we don't know how they see things, but we know that they pick, what it picks up the impulses of things and stuff, and somehow the way the metal reacts with the water, it's like intense for them. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting to find out because they've never really, talked about that before. Anyways, so these guys decide to go in without tanks. Not only that, it makes a lot of sound. Like you're breathing, the bubbles, like all of it, So they wanted like them to be a little more natural in a reaction. And these guys went in and they actually started riding the fins of sharks. They were great white sharks. They're in the open ocean.
They're riding the fins.
They're holding on to them and riding it.
Like we did that with dolphins.
Yeah.
With my wife.
Yeah. So these guys were doing that. And the
in
sharks,
Mexico.
Exactly. So,
and they're doing it with not just sharks.
Great white sharks. Yeah. And
I think I would pee my swimsuit in the water. I wouldn't be peeing my pants. I'd be peeing in the water.
So one thing you have to realize is when they sit there and they throw all this chum in the water and the food, they're trying to get sharks to feed because people like to react to those bites, right? And like even guys who do the documentaries say that they won't get funding if they don't get some good bite shots.
Oh, yeah.
Of sharks.
You got to give the people what they want to see, right?
Yeah.
Look at those treacherous teeth. Look at that row of razor-sharp anarchy.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're seeing something like that eat, it's quite terrifying, right? But I found out, too.
I think it's beautiful.
It's cool.
It's like looking at flowers,
Flowers. I like that.
Beautiful flowers.
Attachment,
Yeah.
Sharks, flowers, same
Sharks
thing.
eating. Tulips. Munching.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Swimming with the great whites.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'll be.
That's pretty crazy. But I guess, as they learn, they're literally figuring out how to turn off the aggressive button with them.
Yeah. So basically,
right?
I'm like, okay, think about it. What have we been doing with sharks when we go out and spend time with them?
Feed them.
Exactly. So they've
I have seen some people that go out and swim with them that aren't feeding them.
Yes, but most of the time.
I've always seen them with, their scuba gear on and everything.
Yeah, well, even the ones who are going, they have groups that'll take you down to the bottom. And, our brother did it where, they throw the food around and you sit there and hold still and you watch the sharks swimming around you. So, they make a lot of money.
Oh, so they were throwing food around when Joseph did that?
Yeah, they have to bring them in. But, they keep that stuff, they keep the people a little more, or they take, they're giving them fish pieces. They bring them in, then they get used to it. They come because they know they're going to get fed.
Right.
So, logically, wouldn't that possibly over time cause a problem because they'd associate people with
people
food
in the water with getting fed, right?
Exactly.
And then if you're not feeding them, they're like, okay, well, I guess you'll have to.
You'll have to do.
You'll have to do. I'm used to these chunks floating around in the water.
I'm a little bit hungry, man. You're not dishing up. I guess you're gonna have to be the food today.
They're gonna be like, oh, just a wee nibble. I don't want to hurt anybody. Just take off a few toes. For some reason, that shark was Irish.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine. There might be Irish sharks. I bet there's sharks around Island.
They swim in the ocean up there too.
Yeah. So anyway, we've noticed there's actually been an increase in shark attacks since 2020 in Australia.
Just in the last 2 years?
Yeah, 2020 they had the most shark attacks they've ever had.
Oh, so that was a pinnacle year.
Yeah. And,
okay.
Even though people were, supposed to be COVID isolating, I guess maybe that was part of it. People were out swimming alone and they weren't in a group. I don't know. But it was bad. And already this year, I think, if I remember right, they've had 8 fatalities from sharks. No, up to March. So that was from January to March. And they had, I think, over 20 attacks. And then we've also had, even ones that have happened recently. There's, people who were attacked just last week.
Are there areas where it happens more than not? I've heard, or you can tell me if you've heard this before, but I've heard rumors that there's more shark attacks in South Africa than any other areas. I've also heard Australia before quite a bit, but from what I understand, there's one particular area in South Africa where they actually tell people don't go in the water because a lot of sharks come or something.
Actually, Australia is the shark attack capital of the world. They have more problems with that. But I don't know all of what the difference is, between the two places. I just know that
aren't there areas where they migrate or they tend to hang out more, especially during the breeding season or anything like that?
Actually, it's more of around the New York area on the East Coast side, at least, that we found actual great white shark, where they have their babies and young baby sharks. Yeah, there's an area that's over there where it's breeding grounds for great sharks to have their babies at and whatnot.
Wow.
I guess they breed wherever, but that's where they go and have them. So I don't know they haven't figured out exactly what's so special about those areas that's where they do it. Just okay, so they think this is because of El Nino and just global warming.
El Nino?
Or did I say that wrong, right? El Nino?
No, you said El Nino.
Okay, I said it right. You made me wonder.
El Mimo.
Yeah. It just sounded so rock and roll the way you said it.
El Nino.
So anyway, they've had problems with sharks congregating places that they haven't before. So San Bernardino, where they shot Lost Boys.
Yeah.
In the big, huge amusement park with the big old carousel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's, in that area, the beaches there are they have $1 million homes on them and stuff, right? And these wonderful private beaches or just nice.
I thought San Bernardino was inland. I didn't think it was on the coast.
Yeah. Oh, did I say which one is it? Santa Monica.
There you go.
There you go. I'm sorry, guys. That was me. It was Santa Monica. So And that's the one that's in Lost Boys too.
Now I have to fact check.
Yeah, do it because I
we're
think
so
it's Santa
good
Monica.
at butchering details sometimes.
I know. I don't know why I said San Bernardino. Anyway,
there's a lot of sands.
I know. Like tons, but
in California.
I still don't know why I said that one. It should be Santa Monica, I believe.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I'm right. Okay.
It is on the coast.
Thank you. Because when you questioned me, I got it.
You have like the famous Venice Beach there and everything.
Yeah. So there's that there, and then there's also like $1 million homes off there and everything. Well,
I think there's even crappy areas of California that are 3 bedrooms now that are $1 million homes. No, it's not bragging there anymore when you say $1 million home. It's like, mine's a multi-million-dollar home.
Anyway.
Frickin' house prices.
It's bad. You're right, actually. But they've had a problem with, like, all of a sudden, they don't know why, but juvenile great white sharks are hanging out off the waters of there. Like,
and when you say juvenile, meaning they're...
like teenagers. And we know a lot about the babies, and we know a lot about
juvenile,
the adults.
I think of, like, young people committing crimes.
There you go. They are. No. They're young sharks committing crimes.
I'm rebellious from my parents. I'm going to go to the beach and eat some people.
Exactly. So anyway, there are tons of them. Like, they're all over there. And they think maybe, it's because of those temperature changes that they've decided it's a nice place to be, but they're not really sure. So they've started tagging them. But...
so they can track their movements and everything?
Find out what's going on. And they also want to know how long they're there. When do they leave? How long are they going to, hang out there for? I mean, they just don't know what to think about it. But it's really bad. They're like all over. And so people can't swim anymore off those beaches, really. If they do, they're taking a risk. And, think about it too. If these are juvenile sharks, they're probably going to have more of a tendency to be more curious. They might, be ones that haven't seen a person before. It makes it more, I don't know. I feel like it's more dangerous to be swimming around with these juvenile sharks because they're still figuring out the world that they're in, right? And if you're there... Who knows what they'll do when they're, they only have their mouth to check things out with. So, yeah. People have been pretty much staying out of the water.
Well, and there's a lot of shark attacks where sharks mistake people for food, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Because that was a big thing that people were saying is like, for example, with you have surfers, the way that they paddle with their arms while they're on top of the surfboard, supposedly they look like similar to a seal on the surface. This is what I've heard people say.
Yeah.
So they come up and they take a bite, and then when they realize it's not their normal food, they actually will back off. So this is what I understand. You'll have to let me know if it's current information.
Yeah, go ahead.
But they'll take a nibble or they'll take a bite, and then they leave them alone after that because they realize this is not their typical food.
I get what you're saying. So, yeah, they were teaching that to me ever since I was a kid, too. But honestly, when a shark finds somebody, they will do like the kind of circle around and check it out before they do anything, right? Now, if you look at a side shot of a surfer in the water, about a foot of them is under the water. You've got their body there. They're sitting on the board. Their legs are hanging down. They don't look like... How many sharks just only go underneath and look up at stuff?
Well, it's not just that, but they're saying when they paddle out. So while they're waiting for a wave, they're going to be sitting on their board.
Yeah.
But while they're paddling out.
Yeah, but sharks are usually checking out people, circling around for a while before, they decide the best time to go in for the hunt, kill, or which victim they want to go after, or do they want to do something to you. They're going to be swimming around. I really don't think that... I think that when
But a lot of these shark attacks, though, they're not... It's not like they're seeing the shark before they get attacked. Are they?
Some of them are, yeah. And now that we've got those... the drones in the sky, there's so many times that there's recordings of this big, huge... great white shark swimming around someone. I even saw...
And they don't even know?
No. And 2 little kids were sitting there on little paddle boards out in the water, this big, huge, great white shark is swimming around them, under them, and the guy who's flying the drone is like hollering to the kids. So you see the little boy like look back a few times. We can attach
trying to get
it.
him to come out of the water.
Yeah, and the kid like
Oh
the
my
kids are
gosh.
all pretending to shoot with their fingers at the drone and just goofing off. When the kids finally came in, he told them, and he's like, "You shouldn't go out that far. You had a big, huge, great white shark swimming around you guys." And the kids went right back into the water, but they didn't go out as far.
Oh.
They just like weren't scared. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So the thing is like sharks have 3 things they can do when they interact with people. Either they're just checking you out and observing you, okay? Or they are trying to predate, which is eat you. Or they're
What was the word you used?
predate.
Per day?
Predate. Like a
Predate?
predator. They're predating on you.
predate.
Like a predator, but
I'm
not
gonna
the
go on a
but not the
predate with a
space
great white
one.
shark.
I'm going on a predate. You don't want to go on a predate.
I just haven't heard that said before, so my brain was trying to put together that word and be like, what?
Really, yes, I'm having a predate. It's great.
Okay, so they're
Predating.
Are you sure it's not predatorizing?
That sounds like something that, Predator versus aliens. It's predatorizing me when it rips off my skin. But so anyway, those are the 3 interactions that can happen, right?
So you said they're checking you out.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually, or like they would say in the cat terms, they're stalking you with the intention to kill, or what?
Well, they might not be stalking you with the intention to kill. They might just be curious. Like there's a lot of footage of sharks coming around, just like swimming around people a few times, checking them out, and then taking off. And the other one, so we have the predate, we have the checking it out, and then the other one is attacking. And the attacking is more of like territorial or being bothered by you.
So it's okay. They're actually it's like assaulting you, not trying to eat you.
Yeah, and that's usually
they're literally
when-
like fighting you.
Yeah, so that's usually when they do only one bite and take off. Because they just don't like that you're there. They decided for some reason, either it's your turf, they're mad.
They're like, hey, listen here, guy. I see you in my water. This is my spot. I don't like it. You here? It's like someone who owns a private beach and someone's swimming in their water and they want to pull out a shotgun and be like, get off my property.
Yeah.
Same thing, huh?
Yeah, well, sharks will size each other up. Like there's 3 ways that they do that. First, they'll swim next to each other to see who's longer, to like compare length. And then they'll do gaping where they'll open their mouth really wide to see whose gape is bigger, whose mouth is bigger.
Who's got the bigger jaw.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, then they'll bite on each other. And that's like, get out of here. I want to, so basically they have a way that they do exchanges. And if one feels like it's smart, it'll take
sharks
off.
fight each other too?
Yeah.
Is that a pretty frequent
and
thing?
like, the sharks will actually, there was a person who was swimming with sharks, and the shark who was at the top was the one who was the more dominant, and the one that was less dominant was going down lower and staying out of the way. And when he removed himself in different positions, they changed their positions where they're at. So it's like
So they know who the big dogs are, and they'll actually swim afar off to because they know this is the big dog.
like, hey, I don't want you to mess with me.
This is the bad boy.
Rip me apart.
Yeah.
So around the Galapagos Islands, the biggest sharks are towards the bottom, and the littler ones hang out more towards the top. And it's like they have a hierarchy and they have a social structure of like what is expected of each other and what's challenging or non-challenging, just like big cats or something, right?
Yeah.
And this is cool too. Like the thing is, people don't really take the time to build a relationship with sharks, right? In the water.
Why would you?
Well, this is the thing. People think they're stupid, mindless animals, right?
No, they're very intelligent.
Yeah. So guess what they figured out there's some kind of sea park. I wish I could remember what it was, but they have sharks.
Not SeaWorld?
No, I don't think so. But they actually have trained these sharks.
Yeah.
Where the guys will literally jump in the water and splash in just wetsuits. But they bring a fish, and the sharks have learned to swim to the left side of them and turn forward, and they'll give them a fish. And they know they'll get fed if they do that. And they'll do it. And I watched like what, 6 guys all hopping at the same time, and each shark went up to one of them and did that and got their food. They literally trained these sharks.
Wow.
And
yeah, I recently actually saw a YouTube video on Facebook, and it was basically what you're describing.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the water, and but he's not in like protective anything. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember exactly what shark it was. I don't think it was great whites. What's some of the other bigger ones?
Bull sharks, tiger sharks.
Those ones
There's
are the
some
more
hammerheads that can get big. Did you know that bull sharks have the most testosterone of any animal?
Yeah, I hear they're like crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was in the water with them, and they literally swam around him, and he just popped it right in front of their face, and they're eating it, and he's like petting the shark, and like grabbed onto its fin and stuff, and I'm just like,
yeah.
What you smoking, man? You're gonna get your arm bit off.
Yeah, so I mean, like the thing is like, you know, I mean, it just goes to show if you only interact with some stuff in a certain way, you know, you won't really find out much.
Yeah, you won't get a full understanding.
Exactly. I saw a video. There's a video on YouTube you can find. I think it's just called Shark Attacks Kayak, and it's a red kayak. And this guy was in the kayak, and he attacks the kayak, and the guy falls out, and he's swimming away, and the shark's literally pushing the kayak around and like pushes it up towards the guy, and he's freaking out because here he's got this kayak being pushed by a shark back to him, and he's trying to swim away. Well, the shark let go of the kayak and took off. So that would have been an attack. He didn't like the kayak. He wasn't happy about the kayak. He didn't care about the person in the kayak.
Are there certain colors that set him off? Or?
I don't know. It was bright red, but like, that's hard to say.
But is it like, because I know they have crazy sensory. So it's like the scent of blood, not necessarily the color that they sense,
we don't even know if they see color.
We don't?
No.
We know that a dog sees black and white, but we don't know what a shark sees?
No, they don't know for sure.
How do they not know?
I don't know. But, I mean, like, there are some mistaken
Go find out for me, Lele. We need to know.
There are some mistaken identities that they do have happen, but usually it's in low visibility. So, like, if you're going to go play out in the ocean, if it's a low visibility day, you stick your head on the water.
Murky.
Yeah, really murky. It's not the wisest time.
Well, not only that, but you're not even really going to see them coming either.
No.
Unless they surface with their fin not far away from you.
Yeah, it's easier to get like just, or what's it called?
Yeah, sabotage.
Yeah, it's sabotage.
I'm the sabotage.
All of a sudden they just hit you. And you're like, oh, I didn't see nothing.
Little Beastie Boys reference there. I like it.
Dude, they need to make a shark video of like attacks linked with like that song playing. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, these people have decided that we need to really like try to interact with them, but they're still wild animals. Just like if you interact with a tiger, you know, you have to pay attention to moods. They've noticed different sharks have different personalities. There's one that's all scarred up, and he's like always like moving around super fast. He's aggressive with other sharks. They don't like try to swim with him, right?
They got emo sharks.
Then they have one named Bruce that's super like calm and chill. And that's like the one that they were swimming with. But when they were doing the shark fin riding, they said if they like tilted the shark's fin one way, it would go that way, and if they tilted it the other way,
could actually direct
it was like yeah. And not only that, the shark kept coming around so they could do it again.
It liked it?
Yeah, and then a whole bunch of other sharks
Does it give them joy like when I give my little daughter a piggyback ride?
Maybe they're like,
come on, let's go.
Maybe they're like, wow, they finally are interacting with us. Like, hey, this is cool. That's what we wanted. We were curious. You know, we wanted to be like, hey, man, and now you're chilling. You know, have your weird stuff. You're not poking me with a stick, you know? So, yeah, they did it all day, and they had other sharks come too that were also great whites and let them do it with them. It was almost like they all just had a play date for hours.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
What I want to know is who has the cojones to figure this out the first time?
Adrenaline junkies
Yeah.
who love sharks
Gosh.
and want to prove people wrong. And
Yeah.
if it
I
goes
hope they
wrong.
took out a really big life policy before they started.
Yeah, one of them was like, it was like, it's like making an investment, but you got to put up your whole life savings when you go out,
Jeez.
But anyway, so they don't know why Bruce didn't attack the girl dressed like a mermaid.
I feel
or
like
the other ones.
I feel like since his name is Bruce, that he has to have
That's
like a Scottish accent.
He might.
Yeah, he could
might.
be Scottish shark. Hop on, take a ride, let's go out in the water,
This is fun.
Grab my fin, turn it, I'll turn for you.
So when she went out, she didn't grab their fins, but she swam next to them.
Yeah.
And they don't know if it's because the guys had already been swimming with them and like interacting with them and riding their fins, that it was like a little more susceptible. They don't know if he just wasn't hungry, if he was just in a good mood. Like, they don't know that. But like, there was that fear of, she looks like a shiny giant fish kebab, right? Like, basically going into the water, like bait.
Yeah.
Like half of her
You
is a
look
big
tasty.
piece of fish and the other half is human. But she went in there and she went for it and they didn't mess with her. And she spent like 6 days swimming in her mermaid outfit with the sharks. And they just treated her like she was another fish swimming around.
Yeah.
And like they've also said, it actually, they're not sure how often sharks need to eat. So like a guy put a device in a shark's stomach to be able to tell when it ate.
Poor shark. I wouldn't want someone to put a device in my stomach.
Dude, he probably swallowed it whole and had no idea. Like, he just like dropped it down there. He's all like, "Arr!" And it's like in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, it ended up like the shark went 3 months without eating at one point. And
Wow.
yeah, so
Talk about fasting.
well, I mean, we don't know how often they need to eat or what, like we just don't know. But
The way they're portrayed, you think they eat all
the time. Yeah, because they always show us
Because they're ferocious and they bite stuff.
So guess what? He was saying when they want to get those shots with the fish, sorry, being eaten, they will put fish and chum in the water. And a lot of time they're sitting there waiting for days for a shark to actually want to eat it. They'll have sharks swim by and not even care. Like up by. Yeah, they'll be looking at the people and more curious about the people there than the fish because they're just curious and they're not even trying to attack the people. They're just, they're not interested in eating. So that's why we were saying they don't know if Bruce just wasn't hungry. They don't know. But they've noticed that there's different temperaments and he seems to just kind of be a real chill guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just kind of hanging out, swimming along. And he's really big, so he doesn't really have to be afraid of much of anything. So
Yeah.
probably, Anyway.
So
Yeah.
great whites. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know what the longest or biggest recorded great white is. I'm curious on the size. I'm actually going to search this.
Okay, I think that it was 22. Either 22 or 24. But we haven't seen one. There's one that's close to 22. They have that deep blue or whatever her name is. And she's the biggest shark that we know right now that's alive.
Oh, 1 second. I was still on Google Maps looking
you're good.
Looking at Santa Monica.
But anyways,
I must know.
I want to see.
I have to search this.
Because I know there's the 22. I think it's 24. Not the biggest one they ever found. But I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I checked that.
Great white.
Like since I was a kid.
Shark. Go.
Anyway, I wanted to say we'll attach the link for you to see the people swimming with the sharks and the mermaid for that documentary. It happens to be on YouTube where you can view it. Uh-huh. And I'll attach the red kayak where you see the shark pushing that and just doesn't even care about the guy. So,
according to Google, and according to shark expert J.E. Randall, the largest white shark reliably measured was 6 meters, or 19.7 feet. It was found in Australia in 1987. I was 3 years old.
Only 19 feet?
Yeah,
They have
19.7.
But I thought
We're not
they
talking
had
about
ones
like
that were 22.
We're
now.
not talking about megalodons here.
No, but I thought they had like a 22, one that's around 21, 22 right now.
So they can range between, according to Google, 15 to 21 feet.
See, there we go, 21 feet.
That's the adult size.
Yeah.
But just because they can get up to, this is
Doesn't
saying,
mean they do.
This was saying reliably measured.
Yeah, I got ya. Oh.
So
I'm gonna look up deep blue because I think that shark's longer than 19.
he's the longest shark.
It's a girl. Women are bigger. The female sharks are bigger than the men, by the way.
Deep blue.
Yeah.
So, deep blue is a female great white shark that is estimated to be 6.1 meters long and over 50 years old. The shark was first spotted in Mexico by researcher Mauricio Hoyos Padilla. I actually pronounced that
But
pretty
what
good.
is
I'm proud of
6
myself.
meters? I've got that 6 meters to feet.
Yeah, so 6 meters is like 19.7 feet.
No,
So
19 and 8.22, but that's exactly 6. And you said she's 6 point what?
but that's what they're saying is she's estimated to be 6.1.
Okay, so
I think that's why this other one in the 80s was reliably measured,
'Cause they
meaning it
killed
was
it.
more precise.
and they have it hanging on a hook.
Oh, yeah, they didn't say that. It was showing it in the water.
I believe so.
I think
Am
what they
wrong?
did was they had a picture, from what I saw in here, they had a picture of him swimming right next to the shark from foot to head, and they knew his exact measurement, of height, so they could scale it on the shark based on the picture and say exactly what it was.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess
But
I just know what they've
sheesh,
unreliably
man. Weighed estimated 4,400 pounds.
Yeah, can you imagine getting hit by that?
Good night. Can you imagine me?
There's recordings.
4,400 pounds.
There's recordings of
And-
a woman swimming out of cage with that shark.
Yes,
Hawaii.
I see a picture right now
Yeah,
in the water, and she's tiny.
yeah.
I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking, man, you straight loony.
She's swimming with a bus.
Dude,
Yeah,
holy schnoz.
We'll
Okay,
attach that
we
too.
have to, because
we'll attach that so you can see.
you can...
Because, when you're not actually around them, you don't realize how big they are.
You can even order a beach towel of the picture of her swimming in front of this shark.
I know what
And
you're getting for
it's
Christmas.
Jaws. Oh my gosh.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
That... It could be nightmares. I'll have nightmares about my towel.
Just take it to the beach.
Sheesh. Okay, well, yeah, and they have a video too.
I've watched the video. We'll attach the video. It's really cool.
Dude. That's incredible.
Yeah. So it had just fed off of a whale carcass. And so it was, it was well fed and happy.
I
and
can
she
see
decided
it's
to go.
got a nice fat belly.
Yeah.
It's like a
It might-
Polynesian at an all-you-can-eat buffet.
She might have been pregnant. You just don't know.
Holy cow!
But yeah.
Wow. So, another topic of this
Of this
beautiful topic,
topic.
because I love sharks.
Yeah.
I know you're obsessed.
Yes.
You brought up tiger sharks. How they have the most testosterone.
No, bull.
Bull sharks do.
They also have
So,
their
but-
bite is actually more powerful than a great white's because
Whoa.
they're built like boxy.
They're like a crocodile.
They're like the what's it called, the pit bull of sharks. They just got that. And not only that, they like to hunt in shallow. They can go in fresh water.
I thought it was tiger sharks that go in fresh water.
Nope, that's bull sharks.
So I'm mixing it up.
Yes. Tiger sharks are considered like the trash feeders of the sea,
Okay,
and they
Google.
love turtles. Guess what? There's been people
Hold on,
attacked.
I'm having a moment with my phone. Okay, Google. What is the most aggressive shark species?
According to CBS News, Wikipedia great whites.
Dang it, you're right. It's bull sharks.
Most dangerous shark of them all.
It has been recorded in 69 unprovoked attacks on humans.
Researchers
Wow.
believe the numbers may be higher because of the lack of easily identifiable markings.
Ooh.
Told you. And they actually can go into fresh water, and they've been found in lakes miles away from water.
I thought tiger sharks are the
No.
ones. They look really cool because
Yes.
of the patterns on
Yeah,
their body.
that little tiger.
Okay, so the bull sharks are the ones that, they'll swim upstream.
Yep.
Can you imagine you're just chilling in a freaking lake and all of a sudden you see a shark? How horrifying that would be. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, and they had that Jaws was based off of what happened in Jersey back in the early 1900s where, 2 people were killed upriver and 2 people were killed out in the ocean, like right around the area within like days of each other. And everyone was terrified. And, the biggest problem people have is usually bleeding to death before they can get help. And that's the problem.
They take a big, huge chomp out of them.
Yeah, well, and if they hit any arteries...
Because it's not like they're going to bite your feet and then sit there and like chomp you all the way whole.
Yeah, like there's people who even just have part of their leg taken. But depending on how fast they can get help and what has happened, they'll bleed out.
Yeah.
So like surviving the initial attack is not necessarily meaning you're going to live.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that's the thing is if a shark decides he's just mad at you because he doesn't like where you are or he doesn't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And he just gives you a bite of go away, I don't like you here.
You're in that shady part of town of the ocean where the bad sharks hang out.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about this. I think we've already gotten pretty long here. I think we probably have to end it, but I thought that maybe we could make this a 2-part and we could talk about some attacks in the next one because people like to hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's
Let's
like
make it a
true
2-parter.
crime from sharks.
Yeah. And we'll be able to talk a little more about them too. But I honestly think most of the time it's not mistaken identity. I think that happens a lot rarer than people think.
Yeah.
The problem is you just don't know what the shark decides they want to do.
Yeah, what their intentions are because we don't know what they're thinking.
Are they going to get mad that you're there and attack? Are they going to decide not only that? A lot of times the ones that attack and for predation are ones that are really hungry because they haven't been able to eat in a while. They're sick. They're old. It's just like when people go out and an old bear takes them down.
They're not as keen on their prey as
they're
they used to be.
I just need to eat, man.
Right.
I'm sorry. You're easy. I'm eating you.
I'm really old and I'm hungry, and I guess you'll do.
Exactly. And the funny thing too, before we change over, and I'll probably bring this up again in the next one, I've only heard of 2 cases throughout history from clear down to the beginning of the 1900s where someone who went out to save someone who was attacked got attacked too. Ooh. They've literally had people pulling in a person and they keep coming back and biting that person they'd already attacked and not touch the other person. There's even been people who've taken the person who was bitten out of the water, put him on their jet ski and got in the water and pushed the jet ski to shore, and the shark didn't touch those people. So yeah, it's when they decide on their prey, that's it. There's one story of a guy who went out to save a woman and he got her away from the shark and she went in, but they never saw him again or found any of them. So that shark maybe really wanted food. And when he stole away the shark's food, it got mad and was like, fine, you'll do. But anyway, I think she ended up bleeding out anyways. Oh. So it was sad. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk more about shark attacks.
Well, and just to close it out too, it's you look at Hollywood's portrayal of sharks and what they do, and it's obviously very not accurate.
Exactly.
They had that recent one not too long ago where a person went out to surf by themselves and the shark was targeting her the whole time. And I guess it's not out of the realm of possible, but
if he's the one she set her sights on, she's in trouble. That's the thing is they'll go for the person they want. And a lot of times they keep coming back, and there's some crazy stories. And I have some really cool survival stories. Okay. And one that will blow your mind. I've never, it happened in the 90s. I don't know how I didn't hear about it, but it's the craziest story I've ever heard in my life and almost unbelievable. Ooh. So something to look forward, a tangle or a dangling carrot.
A dangling carrot
yes.
Or a, what do they call it, a cliff?
I don't know.
Cliffhanger?
Oh, there we go. You're all a cliff. I've never heard that. You got to add the hanger on there.
We're going to hit you with a cliff hanger.
So yeah, this is us talking about sharks, and I'm like really excited to talk about them. They are my passion.
I'm content to watch other people swim with them.
Oh, I want to swim with them so bad.
Oh.
I would out cage with a great white. I would do it.
Okay.
I would.
Maybe if you made fun of me and called me a wuss enough, I'd do it with you. But I don't.
But
know.
only after other people were doing it too.
I don't know if enough peer pressure would let me do it. I'll be like, okay, you guys take good video of that, and I'll chill here on the boat.
Well, yeah. See, I'm not sure that I would just like if I saw a shark off a beach, go swim out there to like try to swim with them. But if I was with some crew and they were all down there doing their stuff, I would totally. If they're doing it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming.
You're bandwagon. Threaten your life, girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't be the only one in the water. Swimming alone with a shark is different than swimming with other people.
Yes.
You know?
I would be happy to swim in the big nurse shark. I'd be cool with that.
Dude, I want to swim with all of them.
Because I know it's not going to eat me.
Yeah.
And they're
swim with all
actually
of them.
beautiful, large sharks.
Yeah. I would swim with any of them as long as I was with a group. And, that's what we were doing. I just like most
you don't
people
want to swim with a shark by yourself.
When you're swimming alone, there's more likely you'll get attacked. It's just the truth.
Okay, strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, we are going to leave now.
Until next time.
Sorry
folks.
about the longer episode again, and I hope you guys have a really great week.
No episode of our caliber is ever too long. What do you mean?
Ha. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Peace, folks.